New glasses? These are posh glasses. I had the same here.
We'll come back to money.
Come back to
and Liverpool have spent the most money. Outside the club, that seems to have led to an attitude that Liverpool have to deliver this season. How do your own expectations compare with that?
But my own expectations are always pretty high, so make the best of it. Yeah, get everything out of it. Try really to reach the highest and all that stuff. That's always my expectations. It didn't work all the time out, but it's good. I think for us it was pretty normal that there will be one point where we spent a bit more money. In the last few years, we pretty much, as I said here, and I had to defend our transfer behavior, that we sold more than we brought in, and but that all made sense. We have to create a squad which is strong enough and wide enough to deal to cope with the Premier League and to be as successful as possible, and step by step we come closer. But if we are now, people ask me that already, if it's the best squad I've ever had or whatever. I don't think about that, because it's not about what we have now. It's about what we make of it. How often we deliver. How often we bring ourselves in a mood to fight against all these Premier League teams. They all want to have our points, so that means we have to be ready to fight, and that's it.
Obviously, Danny Ings, your thoughts on his move, and also do you expect any more departures before the window closes elsewhere?
Yeah, Danny, what a fantastic person, fantastic professional. We miss him already, to be honest. It's not that somebody was in a building who opened the door for him and said, "So here's the exit." So it was rather the other way around. A lot of people were still hoping yesterday that maybe something could avoid that transfer, but it's completely normal. Things have to go on. And we will. He has friends here, and will ever have friends here, so that's cool. He's now going back to his home club where all the way started, if you want, and so that's nice for him. I know he's happy about that. It's cool. He's fully fit. He's in a good shape. How everybody could see after in the last game against Torino, the 45 minutes he played. It was not Danny Ings at its best, because nobody knows exactly what that will be, but he showed that he's really in a good shape and a good way. So that's nice for him and for Southampton. Any more? Yes. It's the transfer window is only one way is closed pretty much, so we cannot buy or sell, or we cannot buy anymore, but we can only sell not sell anymore in England, in the Premier League, I think, and so. That's the case, but it's clear that few things will happen.
And squad-wise, how are you looking for this game against West Ham? I'm thinking the England lads, Jordan and Trent, are they ready for Premier League action? Dejan Lovren as well, and Fabinho, is he okay?
His scan was clear. I heard that you all know that he had a scan, so that's maybe at one point we can change that as well. I don't know exactly how. Fancy dresses for the players or whatever, bring them in because it was only a checkup. The scan was clear, then he came, but he felt ill. Then when he came back, so we sent him home again. I don't know what happened in the scan, but no, obviously he was not feeling really well, so we sent him home again, and I didn't see him so far, so I didn't ask anybody. We will see. That's that part. What was the other question? Oh.
The England lads, and then obviously Dejan after coming back for the World Cup. So.
Yeah. Yeah, we will see. They're all in a different shape, if you want. Trent a bit longer in, which is good. Hendo in and full of power, but not too long in. Now 3-4 days or whatever. But it's Hendo, so you always think about him. And Dejan is will not be available for the weekend. That's how it is. Anything else? No, but we'll see. We have a few. We have not big issues, but these little things where we have to think about: do we take is it a risk or not? And if it's a risk, do we take it or not? And all that stuff. So at the end, we will have. I'm pretty sure we'll have a fantastic football team on the pitch, and hopefully. I have to make a few decisions. It looks like in a moment that a few players are not involved, but that's how it is then. Ragnar, no real chance. Didn't train. Joel did yesterday parts of training. We will see how it, like Joe did. So we will see how they are today.
We spoke about money there and the amount that was spent. West Ham have spent a good deal as well. It's not always a guarantee of success though. So what difference does adding Manuel Pellegrini to that equation make?
Yeah, one of the very, very successful managers on this planet. So he knows how football goes. So it's a really good tactician, a really good coach. So that changed, I think, a few things. It's quite difficult if you have the old team to change everything. But if you can bring in new players with, maybe they already know about your ideas, whatever that change. And if you go through the team of West Ham, it's a completely different team, or could be a completely different team. It can be Arnautovic on 9, Yarmolenko right, Anderson left, or Chicharito as a striker, then Arnautovic on one wing or on 10, behind them Wilshere and Noble or whoever, then on the new fullback in, Cresswell back, all that stuff. They were injured for a long time, but that's just a good football team, and that's how it always is. I think they are really ambitious that season. Yeah? But if you go in a game like this, and it's the first home game of Liverpool and stuff like that, people expect that we win. We expect the same, but we know that between now and then there are 95 brutal minutes, and you have to be ready for that, and that's how it is. But it's easy not to underestimate West Ham, to be honest. So that's the thing. And on plus, it's the first game of the season. Analyze is pretty much not really existing because you see a few preseason games, of course, of the teams. But then on the other hand side, and you have to more think, and then you see already, like you ask me, is Hendo in or not, or is Chicharito in or not, and all this stuff. That's how it always is. First 1, 2, 3 games, it's always like this. So good. No problem. I'm still looking forward to it.
A new goalkeeper for you in Alisson, who's got a physical presence just when you walk up to him. But what sort of impact do you think or hope he can have both for your team and on the Premier League?
Just be a goalkeeper. Be yourself in this case, because you're a very calm person, very, very laid back during the week, hard, really completely different on the pitch, but around the pitches like that helps. We all know, being a Premier League player, you need to tick a few boxes. One of that is in different positions or different things, but as a goalkeeper, it helps if you are rather calm than like him. Sorry, no, you're not too energetic. Yeah? So it's about making the right decisions in the right moment, and I only want to involve you. Sorry, it was the moment when you made this with your eyes. It's boring what I say. Yeah. So no, all good from that point of view. It's really settled really quick. He's in for 2 weeks. Looks like he's in for much longer, and so that's all fine for the moment.
Players who are already here and the players that have come back hoping to impress ahead of the new season. Can you single out, is there one player who's impressed you more and given you something to think about going into the new campaign?
I was impressed by a lot of players, to be honest, in the preseason for different reasons. So that's how it is. The only problem is if I name it, then it's more. Actually, as a football player, you want to create stories when you score or you win. And not around that all is only about expectations. People ask then in 2 weeks, and how is he doing now? In 3 weeks, how is he doing now? So I'm impressed by. I was really impressed by a lot of players in that preseason, and so that's good, because it was. We don't make the preseason too big because it's only the preseason, but we don't want to ignore it as well. And so far, it was good. And for the players who started with us from the first day, they had a high intensity. To to deal with, and they did, and did a lot of sessions, and they did, and those players who came back later looked like they all did what they had to do in their break, and so their basis was good. So no, nothing to moan about in the moment, but we know it was only preseason, and now we have to add 10, 15, 20% in all the different departments, attitude, readiness, greed, anger, all that stuff must all come now, because all the rest were testing games and preseason games, and now West Ham is the first, comes here and want to have our points, so, and we have to be ready for that again.
James, and from where Daniel Sturridge was in your thoughts, say last January, have the performances in his pre-season persuaded you that he does have a future role here?
Yeah, of course he is. He's still here, and he played a good preseason, and he did actually. We could do a lot of the sessions. To be honest, it was I think 1 week or so, 4 or 5 days when he was out. All the rest he did. We never do the same things with all the players, so there's a specific program for him in that moment, a specific program for him in that. That's the same for Daniel, but he went. I can't remember a bad game of him in the preseason, to be honest. So that's good. That's absolutely good. And I said it a few times. I said it probably 500 times already. Daniel is fit. Nobody doubts Daniel. And so I do not. It's all good. He's here in a good shape, and hopefully he can bring that in the season as well.
And we've seen the likes of Rafa Camacho and Nat Phillips and Curtis Jones emerge at a senior level this pre-season. So even though you brought players in, how much of a priority is it for you to maintain that link with the youth?
Very important. So it's really nice to have. This was a brilliant time for them. I'm pretty sure they would not see it differently. I think these 3 players were part of pretty much all sessions we had, which is quite impressive, to be honest. 17, 18, okay. That is not that young anymore, but with the other 2, it's quite impressive, so that's good. That helped them a lot, 100%. But now it's about dealing with it. It's not about having a good preseason and all that stuff. But we are close, so they know what we expect, and that we really care about them and try to help them, and then at one point we want to have them in the team. That's how it is.
Last season you finished 25 points behind City, obviously won the league. What has to be different this season for that gap?
How I heard more luck. Somebody gave me the look. What is it, luck or look? Yeah, the unluckiest team. So no, we have to be more consistent. That's how it is. We know that, and we have to be, more clinical in the right moments. We have to be more aggressive in the right moments. There's a lot of things. We can improve everything. We can improve our offensive play. We can improve our defensive play. That's all what we have to do. But again, you all ask me about the gap against for City. What do we have to do? It's had nothing to do with City. City had 3 points from us, and we had 3 points from them. So that's it. We lost them in other games. So win all of them, and it's good. But it's pretty difficult to do so. So because there are not only the other big 6 or whatever. It's if you see what happens around, if you see how Wolverhampton acts, how Fulham acts, how Everton acts, how a lot of clubs, I don't want to forget anybody, but how they act, they have all ambitious. And when we can't go there, and only because we are Liverpool, we win the game there. That's all really difficult. But it's not only difficult for us; it's difficult for the other teams as well. So, and that's all. I don't think too much about it. What do we have to do in general? I thought about it actually for the pre-season, but now we have to be in this championship mode. We have to come in a championship mode that we really. It's like you jump in the water and you dive, and now let's go for it until you don't have enough air anymore or oxygen, that you have to go up again. Really really, that's the plan now, that we really go for it. I know a lot of people think because we were that active in the transfer window and that active in transfer window, that's all part of the business, but that doesn't decide anything. Because how could we say now, we have to be, or we want to be, that's clear since ages, champion of the league, or of England, or winning the league. But how could we say that? With what about United? What about the other clubs? We are still, the champion is Manchester City. They didn't lose any player. They brought in Mahrez. So that doesn't make them weaker. Who saw the game against Chelsea? That was impressive from both sides. Chelsea was in good shape, obviously, after a rather difficult preseason, I would say, and City as well. So they have top quality. We are still Rocky Balboa and not Ivan Drago. We cannot be. How? So we are the one who have to do more, to fight more, to do all these things. That must be our attitude. In the moment when somebody thinks we reached already a point and now we only have to, like, that's the quality, and now, come on, boys. But that's, again, the moment where you only can, where you start disappointing yourself and the people around again. Why should we do that? We didn't reach anything so far. We were in finals, yes. Do we go to a final again? We should try to win it this time. And in the league, it's exactly the same. We came to the Champions League. That was a success, but there was still only to improve. Without getting champion, we have two places, 3 and 2. Would be better than 4. So that's how it is. And then we can talk. But in the moment, it's nothing. It's like scientists without trying if it really works. We have to be like Rocky.
Jurgen, just on that luck study, I take it you weren't surprised by the results, and do you believe you're due for better fortune this time around?
What again?
The luck study found you was the unluckiest team in the Premier League last season. I take it you weren't surprised by the results?
Oh, I was surprised about the numbers, of course. At 12 points, I'm not sure that I would have thought that, but it felt in a lot of moments last season a bit like that, to be honest. After season, we didn't care. We didn't think a second about it anymore. It was in the moment where I thought, what's that? But yeah, that's nobody gives you anything back in life for that. So it's kind of not even sure. I didn't understand how they did it, to be honest. What they all did, but it looked quite complicated. To explain luck is obviously complicated. What I learned is you have deserved luck. So, and we will work on that, so that we deserve it more, even more than last year.